What is going on, guys? Verkdevoden here, and today I'm going to make a more serious video that I've made in the past. And this is one for specifically people in the transgender community. If you don't know who Erin Reed is, I would follow her immediately on Twitter if you can, if you have a Twitter profile. And she is tracking laws being presented in state legislatures for the last few months, and specifically there seems to be like a blitzkrieg of them in the last week where politicians are quite literally trying to make it illegal to be transgender. They are attacking schools, they are attacking doctors, they're writing legislation for counselors, psychiatrists, hospitals, you name it. They are throwing everything at this. These fucking pieces of shit bigots are doing everything they can to basically outlaw transgenderism. Unlike those people like Matt Walsh or Ben Shapiro or PragerU or anyone at Fox News, I'm an American, and I believe that in America, if you are transgender, you should have the right to be transgender. It's not that hard. It's really easy not to be a fucking bigot. It's actually, well, I guess it's not that easy because a lot of these Americans are, and they're pushing through and voting for these politicians writing this legislation. So I would like to propose something. The GOP and the NRA have made it unbelievably easy to own a handgun. And I don't say this lightly. I lived in Chicago for 17 years. Never felt like I needed to own a gun. Ever. No matter where I lived, whether North Side, Humboldt Park, South Loop, doesn't matter. Never felt like I needed to own a gun. Once I got out into Trump country in Oregon, not even 6 months being here, there were two events where I was like, holy crap, I really need to own a gun. So I started looking into it. And this is what I suggest for you all, is that you look at your individual state laws, which you can find very easily. If you need to, you can go to the organization that all gun nuts go to. It's called the USCCA. From here, they have the resources to educate you on your state's laws and the steps that you need to take to not only acquire a handgun, but get your concealed carry permit. Now, the reason that I am specifying the concealed carry part is because a lot of states have weird laws that translate to both open and concealed carry. I'm going to give you an example. So I live in Oregon, but I live in Portland. And Portland has this weird law where you can open carry, but you can't open carry a loaded gun. That means you need to have your gun on one side and then basically a clip that is loaded with bullets separate from it. Now, I know that seems kind of stupid because if you're in a position where you need to pull a gun, the last thing you want to do is load it. So what you do is that if you get your concealed carry permit for the state, you can then open carry a loaded firearm, which is what I have and which is what I do daily since getting it. I know that a lot of people, when they think about guns, it's not a comfortable subject. They think, oh no, I could never do that. Trust me, it really is like a tool that, like a chainsaw. The first time you pick up a chainsaw, it's pretty intimidating. Like, it's downright fucking scary, right? If you've ever used a chainsaw before, it's not like there's a technique to it. You can't just go cutting things up. You have to be very intentional in how you use it. Excuse me. Handguns are no different. And I suggest that you sign up for classes to learn how to use it, to learn how to clean them, to learn how to properly use them. Go to a firing range and practice. Get a group together. That's actually what I did. And two of the people in my group are transgender. There are places that are, like shooting ranges or whatever, that actually try to support that. It's actually really surprising the size of the LGBTQ plus community of gun owners in Portland. And it actually makes me quite excited because these gun nuts already have the guns. They already know how to use them really effectively. And they are just waiting. They are itching for a reason to use them. And again, like these pieces of shit, like Matt Walsh and all of Fox News, I think, are directly equating drag shows to being pedophiles or groomers. It's just like this unbelievable hyperbolic bullshit, right? It doesn't take much to think how people are already have this extreme rhetoric of basically killing transgender people or people that go to drag shows on site because they think they're pedophiles or groomers. You can even go to Twitter and you'll see this stuff. These people are just waiting for a match to strike. And if a law is passed, guess what they're going to do? Yeah. So what I would do, look to your state, go through the USSCA. Sounds weird to say that. They also have liability insurance, which is about $250 a year, I believe. But if you are ever in incidents where you need to pull your firearm and use it, you are covered in legal fees up to, I believe, up to $2 million. Something like 2 million in liability and 1 million in lost wages. So like the total is something around like 5 million. You might go to the website and read it to be sure. I signed up for it a while ago, so I don't really know the exact details on it. Figure out where and what the laws are. So they have some what they call reciprocity laws. So if I have my concealed carry in Oregon, that doesn't allow me to conceal carry in every state. I believe it's, I don't have my wallet on me. I think it's Idaho, where Oregon will cover me for like, I think like 5 or 6 states. And then Idaho will cover you like pretty much for the other, like, I don't know, something like 32 or 38 states, something ridiculous like that. And if you go through a course, they'll actually sign you up. You'll make the payment there. You'll get your fingerprinted. You may have to do one additional step. Like I had to go down to my local sheriff's office, get fingerprinted and photographed, basically. Some will ask, like they asked for 2 references, but I'm like, we just moved here. We don't know anyone. So I just simply explained that to them. And they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. Right. The next thing I would do is kind of think about what kind of gun and how practical it would be to carry. Now, me, like a lot of people, am a huge fan of Glocks. Glocks is, well, the Glock company is an Austrian-based company that has constantly made these guns for law enforcement and military personnel. And they come in so many different variations and sizes, and they all have something a little bit different to offer. For me, I am 6'1". I have a huge gorilla hands, right? So these smaller guns like the G26, I don't like those because when I'm holding them, I have like 2 fingers basically not on the handle. I don't like the way that feels. I got what is called the Glock 19X. That is what I am carrying here right now. That's what this is. Okay? It is it's nice because it does have a small compact frame, but it has a full-size handle for someone like me, right? Where I can get my entire grip around it. And I feel that when I shoot, it is way more stable. Now, this is a personal preference. This is something that you actually, I would say you want to fire a few guns to kind of figure out what it is that you like and what works well for you. If you have a local gun range, which it's pretty much guaranteed you have one within like 25 miles of where you live right now, you can go there and they will actually have guns that you can try out, different calibers, different sizes, different companies, so on and so forth. And doing that, once you get used to it, it's like, you know, someone who is a professional logger. That chainsaw no longer is, it's still a dangerous tool. You still respect it, but you don't have the nervousness, right, that you would normally have for it. You learn to use it properly, and you actually feel safe using it. And I gotta tell you, I feel really fucking safe carrying this every day. Now this is because of my concealed carry, because of the position I am in, I can carry this loaded handgun all day. I wear this unconcealed when I am going to work. Like whether I'm on a car or it's usually I'm riding my bike to work. This is a company, Alien Gear, that makes this. They make really good holsters, but there are, again, just like a gun company, there's hundreds of holster companies. I also have what's called an IWB. You'll see this terminology used a lot. That's an acronym that stands for inside the waistband. It is another Alienware, one where it allows me to basically put this on the inside of my pants and clip to my belt so I can easily pull my shirt over it. So if I'm going to dinner or something and we're going out, I'm not going to wear this, right? I don't wear this out in public. This is not what I wear to the grocery store unless I like have a hoodie covering it, right? I'm going to go with inside the waistband. I'm not a fucking dick about it, right? It's painfully obvious. Not everyone is comfortable with guns and not everyone is comfortable seeing a gun, right? And so you just don't be a dick about it. Don't walk, don't get your fucking concealed carry and open carry with like, those guys at McDonald's or Starbucks where they have like 5 different pistols and like, I don't know, like 20 different clips of all different sizes, all around, like just compensating pieces of shit, right? And the reason that I am advocating this, and I'm not doing this lightly, this is not like fun for me, right? I don't want to be a gun owner. I didn't want this thing. This is expensive. The gun alone is like $560. That's just for the gun. I think it cost me close to, with a concealed carry, the local permit, the Idaho concealed carry, I want to say it was close to like $300 to $400 before I even bought the gun. And then on top of that, ammo actually averages right now, 9mm is close to $1 a bullet. Now you can find, I usually buy them in bulk, and you can find these online. You can find deals. You can sign up. I would actually suggest that. I know it sounds kind of kooky, but I'm a sucker for a good deal. So they will have like I don't know, like little blowouts or something similar to what you would see on Amazon or Steam, and you just buy them in bulk. Buy 100 rounds, and sometimes you can get them really cheap. Instead of paying $100 for 100 rounds, you get it for like $60. Anyway, this is not something I said. I'm going to say this over and over and over again. This is not something I take lightly. This is not something I wanted to do. It's something that I felt that is necessary. And, a lot of people, even within the community, they have enough that they have to deal with from just bigoted shitbags on a daily basis. They are not up to date on these laws that are being voted on. Like now, right? Today, there were several laws that you can see, and Erin cites the laws, right? She's not just like going to some news story. She sometimes is literally in the room or on the Zoom call for these debates, and she is copying and highlighting the aspects of the bills that specifically state that, and she said she's not being hyperbolic. She's not. This is literally, by the definition laid out by the UN, this is genocide, right? This is systematically, by legislation, trying to make it illegal to be the way you are. Any white people watching this, I know this is going to be unbelievably hard for you to conceptualize this. Find a minority and talk to them, right? Just talk to them about it, because I'm pretty sure they will be able to tell you so many horrible fucking stories that you're probably not even aware of. One of those stories that a lot of people don't know about are the Stonewall riots, right? 1969. And this literally had to do, well, I don't know if this is a legislative, but basically local cops were harassing gay clubs, specifically people, drag queen shows, right? This isn't something new. This is constant. But the unleashed bigotry of the whole mega crowd has escalated this to a point that I am still fucking shocked by. Like, when I read these laws and I watch these dumb fucks debate, purposely skewed re- research from the 70s, trying to basically deny all of the other research that's been done in the last 40 and 50 years, is just mind-blowing to me. And these are people who hold legislative office now, right now, in certain state legislatures, that are advocating for this, that are writing these laws. And I'm telling you, just fucking be safe. Do yourself a favor. I'm not telling you to go out and buy a gun today. Start doing the research, right? Start at the USSCA. Figure out your state and local laws. And if you live in a city, there's going to be certain city ordinances, right? So, give you an example, like Chicago. One of the big reasons that I didn't have a handgun in Chicago, because it was actually illegal for a long time, until the Supreme Court basically came in and said, like, well, no, that's unconstitutional, which I actually agree with. And I just don't, it really confuses me sometimes when I look at the sort of extreme kickback from people on the left that I consider well educated, where it's like, even if Biden or some other progressive puts out some sort of legislation to curb, let's say, I think one actually, and I actually voted on this, I have voted for this, that in Portland, a measure was passed to limit the carrying capacity to 10 rounds, right? So that means that what it is called like a single stack, which is this, right? Hold on. When you take your concealed carry class, you'll understand why I do that. This is what they call this isn't a single stack because I'm grandfathered in. I purchased these before the law took effect. And so I am able to carry 16 rounds and what they call one in the chamber. So 17 rounds for each magazine that I have. So what the proposal was for Portland was to basically limit this to 10 rounds, which would be helpful, right? And for those crybabies who are like, oh, I need more than 10 rounds. No, you don't need more than 10 rounds. You need more time at the range is what you need. Fucking moron. Sorry, I'm getting off now. It's hard for me not to get emotional about this because it's so unbelievable that this is fucking happening now. So anyway, I digress. Look at the laws, look at your state laws, look at the city laws and ordinances, figure out what the steps are that you need to take, and please seriously consider taking them. If you do so, do not buy the weapon until you take the classes, until you have whatever permits, whatever license you need. Get those first. Then buy your firearm. Because technically, until you have those in your hand, you can be arrested and prosecuted in a lot of different ways. Give an example on this. I know we're running a little long on this. If I have which I do, I have my concealed carry, but let's say I don't have it on me for some reason. Let's say I forgot my wallet at home, and I have this on my seat next to me, and I have a piece of paper or something covering it. If I get pulled over and the cop sees that and asks for my concealed carry and I don't have it, I am technically breaking the law. Even though I have done everything to the T, I have to carry that concealed carry permit. Otherwise, concealing it without it is technically illegal. Okay? So there are a lot of things that you want to be very mindful of. And typically you're going to learn these in the classes. Again, figure out the reciprocity. Again, I want to say it's Idaho. I could be wrong. Maybe it's Wyoming. It's one of these like rural states that, again, the concealed carry for whatever reason covers like 38 states, something ridiculous. Get that. When you get the pistols, another thing about the Glock that I'll say is that this is it's not a hammerless I'm going to take this out again. It's not a hammerless. Obviously, you need a hammer. Well, if you've never learned a gun before, you'll understand what that means. But basically, the hammer, you know, when you see like the old Dirty Harry movies and he pulls that hammer back that, you know, fires that pin into that bullet to allow it to launch, that's an exposed hammer. Glocks do not have an exposed hammer. It is concealed. So I believe the study I saw showed that the rate of misfires that Glocks had in the last 20 years, I think was like only 3. Now, a misfire is categorized as 2 different things. When you don't pull the trigger and the gun discharges a bullet, or when you do pull the trigger and a bullet doesn't fire. And the only 3 that they had were the ones that they didn't fire. In 20 years, Glock hasn't had an incident where there was a manufacturing defect to where a bullet discharged out of the gun without somebody pulling on it. That, along with the way it felt, is what made me decide on a Glock. And arguably, they are the safest guns and the most reliable guns. These guns, there's YouTube videos on it. You can see them throw it in sand, in dirt, in water, run over by a truck and shit, and they will still fire straight and true, right? It's pretty amazing. So the safety aspect is really what I was looking for, and it's really what I suggest. So anyway, yeah, just, God, I want you guys to be safe. If January 6th taught us anything, this is only going to get worse. And you need to fucking protect yourself.